So we're back with the Books and Music Show. And guess what? We decided on a gray background today. I don't know if you're seeing it as gray or if you're seeing it as a teal color. Because on one of the monitors here, it looks like it's teal, T as in Tom, E-A-L. And on the other monitor, it looks like it's gray. So I'm going to come in and see what it looks like. Oh, see what it looks like. Let me lower that music. I was just playing the Brooklyn Tabernacle. And I like this song because, oh, I forgot to take the disclaimer. I forgot to take the disclaimer off. Hold on. Let me do that. So I was playing the Brooklyn Tabernacle because, oh, let me take that off. There you go. And now I'll put the thing on with the show. There's the show. And how's that? Good? So the song that I'm hearing is Give God the Glory. And it's not for you, it's for me. Because, you know, sometimes when I'm having, when I feel like I need strength, and I really do need a lot of strength, and I need a lot of help. You know, you have one of those days where, like, everything goes wrong. Then you have a week that everything goes wrong. Then you got a whole month that everything goes wrong. And, like, you know, so sometimes I'll come to the studio and sometimes I will say something spiritual or talk about God or mention God or play a tape like this, Give God the Glory. So he was saying, give God the glory and he will keep you. And that's the bottom line. So it's not to convert anybody and it's not to talk you into God and it's not to say you must do this and that. Nope. It's really for me because same reason I do this show is I do it mainly for myself as I give myself a voice to be able to say something that, you know, Time Warner, Spectrum, and Verizon, they have like 400,000 subscribers in the New York City area. And then we put the voice out on YouTube or some other blogs or websites and things like that. So a lot of people get to hear your voice. So I do the show for that. I do it for the voice. Why do I mention that? As somebody used to gossip about me. And through someone, it got back to me that the person was like laughing at me because I had told them confidently, not confidently, but I had told them, you know, they asked me why I did the show. So I said, I do it for the voice. Just like that, very matter-of-factly. And they were nice to my face. And then they went and they talked about me behind my back and were laughing at me because they thought that's kind of an odd reason to do television. If you think that's odd, I don't pay $20,000 to do a show. What's odd is commercial television and mainstream television where people go and they pay like thousands and thousands of dollars and they spend years trying to get on television. Now, to me, that's odd. So if you want to think I'm odd, because I like TV because it gives me a voice. And then I didn't need a voice for a while, so I thought I'll share my voice with other people. So I give other people a voice and let them say what they want to say and do what they want to do. Maybe they have a talent or something they're interested in. So it works out for me. Works out for them. And if you're the person that's watching me and you were laughing at me, the joke's on you. So that's my soapbox for today. I'm going to get back to, oh, I forgot the music was on. Hold on. There you go. Let me shut this off. Shut that off. Okay. So let me get back to reading that book. If I put these in the right order, last week or whatever you heard me say the other part of the book, but I was in the middle of reading a story from this book called The Greatest Miracle in the World. And I was in the middle of saying, you were the greatest miracle in the world. That's you. Those are the first words you ever heard. And then you cried. Imagine that. When we're born, like, you know, doctors and people think that the first voice that the baby hears is in the operating room. But no, not really. The first voice that a baby hears is the voice of God, the Creator. That's a fact. And he goes on. How can you be a miracle when you have little confidence in dealing with the most trivial of responsibilities? I could ask myself that question. And he goes on, how can you be a miracle when you're shackled by debt and lie awake in torment over whence will come tomorrow's bread? Think about that. How many people are laying awake at night because of the horrible things that happen to them in the daytime? How many? And he goes on, the milk is spilt, it's sour. Yet how many prophets, how many wise men, how many poets, how many artists, how many composers, and how many scientists, and how many philosophers and messengers have I sent you with word of your divinity, your potential for godliness, and the secrets of achievement? How did you treat them? Still, I love you. To you, from God, from the book, The Greatest Miracle in the World. I have set my hand again. This is the second time. You are my remnants. It is of no avail to ask, haven't you known, haven't you heard, hasn't it been told to you from the beginning, haven't you understood from the foundations of the earth? You've been told that you are a divinity in disguise, a god playing a fool. You've been told that you're a special piece of work, noble in reason. Yeah, how many people tell us you're a piece of work, right? Noble in reason, infinite in faculties, express and admirable in form and moving, like an angel in action, like a god in apprehension. You have been told that you are the salt of the earth. You were given the secret even of moving mountains, of performing the impossible. You believed no one. You burned your map to happiness, and you abandoned your claim to peace of mind, and you snuffed out the candles that had been placed along your destined path of glory. And then you stumbled and lost and frightened in the darkness of the futility, bled, lost and frightened in the darkness of futility and self-pity until you fell into a hole, the hell of your own creation. Well, I'd have to differ with that. Sometimes other people can create the hell of your own creation. Yeah, they sort of like build it and you sort of like, okay, let me add to it. Something happens to you and then you get scared or frightened, or you get behind in schedule, and then you rush, and then you fall down. That was from me. You believed no one. You burned your map to happiness. And then you cried and beat your breast and cursed the luck that had befallen you. You refused to accept the consequences of your own petty thoughts and lazy deeds. And you searched for a scapegoat on which to blame your failure. How quickly you found one. You know, that could be true. I have really, maybe there was a hole in front of me and I helped dig it a little bit. You were wrong. You cried that your handicaps, your I can't even pronounce that. Mediocrity, your lack of opportunity, your failures were the will of God. Oh, wait a minute. I've never said that. I've never blamed God for anything. I know that all pretty much problems come from men, humankind. I know he's right in this too, but no, I've never blamed God. I know that God loves me. And I know that everything that's good and kind and fair and just and perfect comes from the God of peace who created me. Let us take inventory. Let us first call a roll of your handicaps. How can I ask you to build a new life lest you have the tools? Does the sun rise and fall without your witness? No. You can. And the 100 million receptors that I placed in your eyes enable you to enjoy the magic of a leaf, of a snowflake, a pond, a child, a cloud, a star, a rose, a rainbow, and the look of love to you from God. Count one blessing. You know, I have to say, You, I have a few favorite people who watch the show, and you are a blessing to me. And you are one of the people that I feel thankful for, and that I do thank God for. Yeah. Count one blessing. Are you deaf? Can a baby laugh or cry without your attention? No, you can hear. And the 24,000 fibers I've built in each of your ears vibrate to the wind and the trees and the tide and the rocks and the majesty of an opera, a robin's plea, children at play, the words I love you. Count another blessing. I know, I walk down the street. I could be on the busiest street in Manhattan or the Bronx or Brooklyn or anywhere, and I can hear horns blasting and cars and traffic, and I am still able to hear that little tiny chirp of the birds who are hiding in the lamppost. Still able to hear that. And that's what he's talking about. To you from God. Are you mute? Do your lips move and bring forth only spittle? No. You can speak. And if you can't speak, you can use sign language. That's from me. You can speak. Your words can calm the angry, uplift the despondent, goad the quitter, cheer the unhappy, warm the lonely, praise the worthy, encourage the defeated, and teach the ignorant, and say, I love you. Count another blessing. If you can see and hear and speak and talk, then count your blessings. And I do love you. I love my kids and my family. Well, I do love my family. My real family. My Paula. My close friends. And most of all, God. So you can speak. As can no other one of my creatures, and your words can calm the angry. Sometimes we can. And he goes on in the greatest miracle in the world. Are you unloved or unloving? Does loneliness engulf you night and day? No, no more. For now you know love's secret. Then to receive love, it must be given with no thought for its return. You know? And that's true because most of the beautiful people that I know, they give love with no thought of its return. When I give to anybody, whatever it is, it's no strings. It's like no thought of its return. That's true giving. Love is a gift on which no return is demanded. Now you know that to love unselfishly is its own reward. And even should love not be returned, it is not lost, for love, not reciprocated, will flow back to you and soften you and purify your heart. Is your heart stricken? Does it leak and strain to maintain your life? No. Your heart is strong. Touch your chest and feel the rhythm pulsating hour after hour, day and night, 36 million beats each year, year after year, asleep or awake, pumping your blood through those 60,000 miles of veins and arteries and tubing, pumping more than 600,000 gallons each year. Man has never created such a machine. Count your blessing. Are you diseased of skin? Do people turn in horror when you approach? No, your skin is clear and a marvel of creation, needing only that you tend to it with soap and oil and brush and care. In time, all steels will tarnish and rust, but not your skin. Eventually, the strongest of metals will wear with use, but not the layer I have constructed around you. To you, from God, these words. Count another blessing. No. Are your lungs befouled? Does the breath of life struggle to enter your body? Your portholes in life support you even in the wildest environments of your own making. And they labor always to filter life-giving oxygen through 600 million pockets of folded flesh while they rid your body of gaseous waste. Count another blessing. Yeah, if you're breathing right now, and if you're hearing me, you're breathing. That's what he's talking about. Is your blood poisoned? Is it diluted with water? No. And he goes on. And then he talks about your brain. The human being's brain is an amazing thing, isn't it? It's even amazing when you think it's not amazing. See, just because you think something, it doesn't make it a reality. So why have you betrayed yourself? Why have you cried that all the blessings of humanity were removed from you? Why did you deceive yourself that you are powerless to change your life, and you without talents, sensibilities, pleasures, instincts, sensations, and pride? Are you without hope? Why do you cringe in the shadows, a giant defeated, awaiting only sympathetic transport into the welcome void and dampness of hell? You have so much. Your blessings overshadow your cup, and you have been unmindful of them like a child spoiled in luxury since I have bestowed them upon you, generosity and regularly. Answer me, answer yourself. To you from God. From the book The Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino, the best-selling author of The Return of the Rag Picker. And he goes on. But you will have to read the rest of the book. And all that before it. There's a story before it. The greatest miracle in the world. And I skip to this. You are one of a kind. Rarest of the rare. See that? I told you I was unique. And you too. You too. A priceless treasure, possessed of qualities in mind and speech and movement and appearance and actions like no one has ever lived or shall live. Why have you valued yourself in pennies when you are worth a king's ransom? Why do you listen to those who demean you? And far worse, why do you believe them? Why do we believe those who demean us? Why do we believe the gossips? Why do we allow people to gossip? Take counsel. No longer hide your rarity in the dark. Bring it forth. Show the world. Strive not to walk as your brother walks, nor talk as your leader talks, nor labor as do the mediocre. Never do as another. Never imitate. For how do you know that you may not imitate evil? And he who imitates evil always goes beyond the example set, while he who imitates that which is good falls short. Imitate no one. Be yourself. Show your rarity to the world, and they will shower you with gold. This, then, is the second law. Proclaim your rarity. There you go. I got the instructions. To you from God, to me from God. Proclaim your rarity. So I'm sitting here. I'm a rare little bird. This morning, about 30 minutes before the show was going to be supposed to start airing, I was in the house working diligently on a show that's going to be produced for future weeks, and working diligently on a few articles that I was writing, and then I was having a nice bowl of Frosted Flakes, and all of a sudden, after working on the computer for hours and doing other things and doing this and that and going here and there and tending to other things like putting the bills together to pay them, after all that, I all of a sudden realized that today was the day I was supposed to tape a show in the studio. Yeah, half hour before I got here. I didn't realize I was supposed to be here. I mean, I know I'm supposed to be here on Monday, but see, we had the schedules changed because the first 3 Mondays in January were closed because of holidays and because of, then they had the producers get together. So that kind of threw me. It's like it just put a chink in my schedule, and then a few other things threw me. And so 25 minutes to go, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to run. So now you know why I'm wearing the jacket. I was just lounging around the house, and I just put my jacket on and came here. No, I don't have my pajamas on. I got a shirt on. But the thing is, at the last minute, I realized I was supposed to come and tape a show. Don't worry, not to worry. I don't do that when I have a guest because I've been trained to do things for others. I have been trained to do everything for other people, and I really do something that's just for myself. So I have a habit when I have a guest, I'm all like diligent and all and paying attention and all, and I don't have a guest and I'm like, oh, I forgot today's studio day. Not to mention that I was going to quit the studio too because they have this ridiculous thing that they want to mail the ID. They want to put your identification card with your picture and everything in the mail instead of just handing it to you when you're here. And then they gave me this big, long story that they've been doing it like that all along. And I'm like, hello, no, they haven't. They've handed it to me every single year. And it's almost been 9 years or something like that. So all of a sudden, they changed it. Work well with change. So they're going to put my ID in the mail, and they're going to pray that nobody loses it. So for the record, I think that's really dumb. But that's me. So, it's different. If the employers are happy with that, that's fine. The employees get paid. I don't. Well, so if they want to take their IDs in the mail, I guess that's, like, hey, if I was an employee, I'd say, okay, mail it to me. But I'm not an employee. I'm a volunteer. I pay for my own time. I don't get paid for sitting here. I guess I do get something out of it, though. I can say hi. I can greet you on television, but if I wasn't greeting you on television, I'd greet you on the phone or on YouTube or on a Vimeo or somewhere else. I'd just greet you somewhere else. But I talked to a few friends because I was ready to quit TV last week because I really just had this thing. I didn't want my ID coming through the mail. So I was ready to quit. So I talked to a few friends. So I talked to some professional friends and some friends who don't do TV, and they all seem to think I shouldn't quit. And I guess that was just a feeling, right? Because I thought about it too. I thought, if someone else told me they were going to quit, you're doing TV for like 17 years, and someone else told me they were going to quit for something like that, I'd be like, don't quit, take a vacation. Yeah, go on sabbatical, like the teachers do. I'd say, you have to quit, slow down, do less, don't work as hard. And then you'll come back refreshed and renewed. And so I was getting in kind of a lull space and kind of a zen space. And with all that lull and zen, there it was this morning. And I was like, oh, I forgot. Today's the day I'm going to tape the show. Okay, so I have made arrangements for some guests to come to the show. I did make arrangements for that. So I guess we'll be here when the guest comes in to talk on the show. And I have 6 minutes left. Do I dare read more of that book? I don't know. It's getting kind of boring after a while. Because I've already read it a couple of times, like years ago. Let's see what he has to say. Maybe I'll read from a different book. I'll answer a question. Okay, so back to answering the questions. I don't know if I answered the first one. That's how much I'm paying attention. I'll get you one page from that other book, too, before we stop. 5 minutes and 47 seconds. So what's the second question? It says, sing a song. No, it doesn't. I'm just kidding. I'm going to sing you a song, yeah. And this song here is going out to my hippie friend in California because I know she's going to love this, and now I'm going to have to make a copy. I'm going to send her to her. And so this is for you, my hippie friend in California I've known since I was like 14 years old. And here's the song. Maresy dotes and dozy dotes and little lambsy divey, a kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? If the words sound funny, listen with your ears. I don't know the rest of the words, but I know my California hippie is like just hysterical now after that. She's like, I can't believe you did that on television. 400,000 subscribers. No, see, I don't have to worry about you subscribing on Facebook or Twitter or something like that, because on television, Time Warner and Spectrum, which is both the same or not, they still say Time Warner on the bill. It says Spectrum at the top and Time Warner at the bottom where you mail it to them. So, anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. Off track. I should come in with a list and just do a show as of the list. Okay, the question. Let's answer the question. If you were lonely, who would you seek out? Okay. So if I was lonely, which I'm not, and I've never been lonely. See, there's a difference between being alone and lonely. If you're lonely, it means you can't think of what to do, you got nobody to do it with, and you don't have any imagination, and you don't want to do what's in front of you or whatever, but if you're alone, you can be alone without being lonely. So if you can be creative when you're alone, you're not lonely because you're too busy to be lonely. So if I was lonely, who would I reach out to? God. Kind of because he's kind of right there. So I'm never alone. So you can be lonely, but never alone. I'd reach out to God. Then I'd call some friends. Call a whole bunch of people. I mean, if I really was lonely. But I'm not lonely. Besides, I don't live alone. So. And besides that, I got great neighbors and, it's like the Rich is Scary book. I got like the whole neighborhood. So I'm not lonely. If someone hurt you terribly and got away with it, would you seek revenge? So with 2 minutes left and 40 seconds to go, the question in the book, 4,000 Questions for Getting to Know Everyone and Anyone and Everyone. If someone hurt you terribly and got away with it, would you seek revenge? Nope. I do not have time for that. I would not seek revenge. If someone hurt me terribly, which, by the way, someone did hurt me terribly, I don't believe in revenge. I don't believe in getting even. I don't believe in being unkind. I don't believe in wasting my time. It's like that book. You know what? I already know I'm the greatest miracle in the world. So, I relate to the feelings in that book. So, I don't have time for revenge. But if someone hurt me terribly and then keeps on hurting me, say if it's a stalker or something like that, that's another story. I still wouldn't go for revenge. But contrary to the popular belief that Christians are suckers and weak and defenseless, nope. No, I would never seek revenge on anyone. You know why? Because if someone's out there hurting people, the best revenge is they have themselves to live with. That's right. They are going to live with themselves. And that is more damaging and more harmful than anything I could do to them or against them. That's the bottom line. Someone who's unkind or who's nasty, who's going to deliberately hurt you, they have the prize of winning, or the booby prize of having to live with themselves. Oh, I better run because the time's almost up. I got 51 seconds and I'm supposed to be putting something on the air. Well, 51 seconds? Oh no, are we going to make it? This is like, let's make a deal. Can we make it? The clock's going. Uh-oh, I can't find it. There it is. Oh, wait. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I got 32 seconds actually. So, for you in California, Maresy dotes and dozy dotes and little lambsy divey, kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? And wouldn't you like to be on the show? Because this show might have been considered really boring to some people. So let's get in here and send me an email. We need some guests for this show so that it's not boring. That's all I have to say. See you later.